It's another good day for us to discuss matters law in the Legal Mind podcast. My name is David Otieno. Featuring episode 9 of this wonderful podcast, The Legal Mind, we have Terry Mwongeli. She's an advocate of the High Court and senior legal officer at Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA. Today, we're going to focus on two articles in the Constitution. This is under the fundamental rights, the Bill of Rights. But we're going to focus on Article 28 and Article 29. And I don't want to talk much about this. There is this issue of sexual gender-based violence in the society. At least research is saying that in 3 women, at least one has gone through the Sgbv or GBV. So Terry is here today to elaborate for us why this can't be stopped. Imagine judiciary under leadership of Lady Justice Martha Koome has done so much. In fact, giving out or establishing 11 courts just to deal with Sgbv. But still, the data is wanting. Women are being violated. Men are being violated. I think even this week alone, there are so many that have gone through this, but none has been reported. My name is David Otieno. Terry, karibu sana.
Asante.
Ukoaje?
Niko salama, labda nyinyi.
FIDA inaendeleaje?
FIDA kwema? Kazi tu.
Kazi tu.
Naam.
You know, before we started, I was asking you.
Yes.
There's a bad name for FIDA outside. And when one comes about FIDA,
yes,
we feel it is just meant to terrorize men. When we were growing up, tulikuwa tunaambiwa akikataa kulea watoto tutapeleka tu FIDA. Is that true?
Wow. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yes. There are very many myths and stories about FIDA Kenya.
Yes.
But again, I want to welcome all of us to just interact with FIDA Kenya and get to know. Ni ukweli, usipofanya majukumu yako kama mzazi. Naam, yule mama atajileta pale kwa sababu at the end of the day, we are looking at the best interest of this child. Yes, and we do not terrorize men. I repeat, we do not terrorize men. We just ask you, because you're still our friends. In fact, even with the topic that we're discussing today, we cannot have it when you're not having you at the table.
Yes.
Because it needs all of us to curb this vice. Yes, and so when you come to FIDA, we try to invite you first so that we can be able to amicably resolve the issues that are coming to the office, because we deal with a lot of family disputes. The only case we cannot try and talk about is Sgbv and any criminal matter. But any other matter, we always invite our good friends, men to come so that we can be able to resolve the issues before proceeding to court.
So before we proceed, can men come to FIDA and get justice?
Yes, they can, because we've had cases where the ladies disappear with the kids. Some do not take care of the children, and some the spouses feel that they're not fit parents. And so we welcome men to come and actually bring such grievances to us. The only thing we cannot do is represent them in court, the men
now.
But when they come to us, the first step we normally take is mediation, because most of the issues that come to our desks are actually family-related disputes, custody and maintenance, succession, land disputes. And so we welcome parties to just come first of all so that we can have a conversation and see whether we can have an agreement before we proceed to court.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is perfect. But before that, I was also terrorized.
Yes.
I didn't know much when I was growing up. Until now, I start learning a little bit. You know, I was worried.
Yes.
And as a result of FIDA,
yes,
this is very bad, but I want to put it out.
Yes.
I could not accept to have a child.
Yes.
Because I knew the consequences of FIDA.
Actually, it's not the consequences of FIDA.
Yes.
Because also the Constitution under Article 53, it states that the rights and responsibilities of parents,
yes,
it's a shared responsibility. So both parties have to share this responsibility.
Okay.
So you cannot run away. We are still going to work together and we're still going to be friends. Okay. And so I want to challenge us to try and visit us. And probably once we have a conversation, you'll realize that that is not true. Our work is basically to strengthen families.
That is perfect. Federation for Women Lawyers.
Yes.
So what do you do apart from those two that we've discussed?
Now, apart from what happens is FIDA is a premier women rights organization.
Yes.
41 years old this year. And so we take pride in a society that respects and upholds women's rights. And so how we do this is through several strategies. One is by offering legal aid to our clients. How we do this is through representing clients. So once the client comes to our office, we screen them and we see that they are able to, they tell us their issues. We are able to outline the cases, the nature of the case. Then once we see that this is a case, probably, because I started by saying we do a lot of family disputes. So what happens is, if it's a child and custody matter, let's say succession, land rights, we try and actually call the other party for mediation. So one of the things we do, one of our interventions is we try to call the other party for mediation. Now, if the mediation fails, that is when now the in-house counsels are able to take up the matters and represent these clients in court. So we offer legal representation in court, apart from the mediation that fails. Again, we also find that we have clients who are very well able to articulate their issues. They're able to tell their story. So we normally do bi-monthly self-representation programs in the office where we train these clients on how to tell their story in court. The only thing we do is now file their documents in court and pre-trial them before the court dates so that they are able to tell the story in court. And we've actually seen it's an intervention that works well because also the numbers are quite big. Again, another intervention that we have is strategic litigation. Now, this is the litigation where we find that there's a violation that affects a very large group. For instance, let's say there's a community that has been living in a certain area and now they're being told to leave that particular place. That means they're going to be affected. They'll be probably chased away from where they've been living. So that's like a land issue. So like that one, we can take it up and now litigate on behalf of that particular community. Another intervention that we take is that we work in the vast coastal region, that is Lamu, Kilifi, Tana River, Taita Taveta, Kwale, and Mombasa. So we have a pool of pro bono advocates that we work with. So once we identify a matter that comes from far off areas, we try to now link our clients with those particular advocates, and FIDA Kenya takes the role of paying the advocates to represent the clients on our behalf. And again, because we deal with a lot of Sgbv and trauma survivors, we also offer psychosocial support in our offices. And how we do this is, one, there's the individual counseling, because we find like probably this is a survivor and this is a person who's going through probably a certain violation. So we try and have that individual counseling. Now, in the case of what you are asking me, whether how we help men who come to our offices, you find that people who actually come there and they've gone through a lot of psychological trauma, even in their marriages. So we try and do something that is called couple counseling. Even when you're dealing with the issues of children, some of them are just going through issues, and so it's better when we try to conduct the couple counseling for them so that they are able to also focus and agree on certain issues that have been brought before us. Another intervention that we have is we also work with the AJS, Alternative Justice System. In Mombasa, we've worked with a lot of elders based on issues land and women land rights, especially in Kwale and also Kilifi, Tana River. They've been very rampant, and also in Taita Taveta. So how we do this is that you find, because most coastal land don't have titles, and when most women get actually disinherited because when their spouse dies, family, there's a lot of also family interference. And so we work with the elders to actually try and see whether these families, these communities can agree on issues inheritance. And we've seen that it has worked. In fact, I like a case in point, just to mention, I work in Kwale County a lot. And the presiding judge was telling us the way we need to embrace AJS, because he's had a matter in court for a land matter has been in court for 33 years, but it came to an end through AJS. So it's one, and I believe even our Chief Justice spearheads this particular conversation when it comes to AJS. And we are hoping that more partners can come on board and actually embrace it. It actually saves on issues of backlog, and also strengthening family ties in some instances. Yes, so that is how we work at FIDA.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that is the most important information that today we are giving Kenyans who did not have any form of love for the federation.
Yes.
Yes, because most of people believed that the Federation of Women Lawyers was just there to ensure that the rights of women are governed.
Yes.
But not the right of men.
Yes.
And that is why majority of men will done anything possible. In fact, in the olden days, some were even quitting their jobs to avoid responsibilities because they believed that when you are taken to FIDA, your salary is going to be deducted for the child support. So others were opting to quit so that you don't get that space to take their salaries. But again, back to the subject matter. We are discussing the Sgbv.
Yes.
And I will want to know what comes to your mind as an advocate of the High Court and a senior legal officer in the office of FIDA. When you hear about the Sgbv, because it is not only the Sgbv, but we also have the GBV. So what comes to your mind, specifically for the sexual gender-based violence? Yes.
Okay, thank you for that question. What comes to mind when I hear issues regarding Sgbv? They're interconnected. And I always say it's always the violation against women and girls most of the time, because we term them as vulnerable groups. What comes to mind when it comes to Sgbv? It's the issues that most are rooted on discrimination, power imbalance, inequality, and harmful cultural norms that people actually mate on the other person without their consent. Anyone who violates you without, we always say Sgbv is any act that is mated on someone without their consent, because I cannot give consent for someone to violate me. For instance, David, when you're seated there, you cannot come and, I cannot give you consent to come and slap me. Of course, when you slap me, that is a form of violence. Yeah, that is physical violence. And I've not consented for you to slap me.
Do we have by any chance a consent for slapping someone?
No, there's no consent, because when we're talking about Sgbv, when you're talking about violence, let's just term it as violence, Sgbv, you cannot give consent for someone to harm you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, there's something that you've just talked about, which is very fundamental.
Yes.
That this normally happens to the vulnerable people.
Yes.
And you've spoke about vulnerable. They don't have power.
Yes.
Maybe vulnerable, they don't have enough resources.
Yes.
Maybe vulnerable because of maybe they're minor or in one way or the other. Which means that the person who is doing this act must at one point be powerful in one way or the other.
Yeah.
So again, when you look at how the society has been handling this matter, it seems like the society is not even ready, or majority does not even know how the Sgbv is dangerous in the society.
Yes.
So again, when you look at it, how men fight it and how men fight it, it is very different.
Yes.
So as the Federation for Women or for we women lawyers, FIDA,
yes.
What do you guys do to ensure that, apart from just curbing, the information is given out for the society to understand how bad it is when women or ladies or even men go through this violence?
Okay. All right. So I believe that is the role that FIDA plays in terms of how they support the survivors.
Yes.
Now, number one, as I as I said before,
Mhm.
we offer free legal aid.
Yeah.
Now, most people don't know. I know
Mhm.
most people say that it is expensive, which I agree. It
Yes.
is expensive to pursue justice.
Mhm.
And it is also very vital for me to emphasize that as FIDA, we do offer pro bono services when it comes to SGBV matters. That is to say that we offer free legal aid to these particular survivors
Mhm.
by watching brief in court, because now the matters are prosecuted by the prosecutors in court,
Yes.
but we represent them alongside the prosecution.
Okay.
So we are present in court to watch brief regarding their matters.
Mhm.
Number two, we find before even the matter goes to court,
Yes.
they've already gone through a lot of trauma. As I began, I said that we offer a lot of psychosocial support,
Yes.
which is also again free in our offices.
Mhm.
And that is normally very helpful to these particular survivors, because it helps them also focus on the
Mhm.
issues of court and also give them the morale to continue pursuing the matters. It is not very easy to keep telling your story over and over again in court, and you really need that support system to be present in court and to actually
Mhm.
give your story so that you can actually get that particular justice.
Okay.
Again,
Mhm.
we try and place these particular survivors into safe shelters,
Yes.
because you see, the well-being of this particular survivor is paramount to the work that we do. Because again, if we do not have this particular complainant
Mhm.
in court, what will happen? Then probably you will have such a weak case. We always say you always win your case in the chambers,
Mhm.
because once you are able to go with three things to court, that is facts, evidence, and the law, you're able to win your matter. And so we try and preserve this particular survivor as much as we can by putting them in safe shelters
Mhm.
and providing the necessary legal aid support
Okay.
and psychosocial support.
Mhm.
Again, we have to support them through the multi-sectoral stakeholder engagements that we have. Remember, in the criminal justice system,
Mhm.
we have the police, there's the healthcare providers,
Mhm.
we have the courts, we have now stakeholders who actually refer the matters. For instance, you'll find someone in the community back in the grassroots who does not even know there's FIDA that exists.
No.
You come as a first responder, maybe it's the chief. Then the chief will tell you, this matter, you need to report it to the police station. Probably you go to the police station, you're stranded. Please reach out to us. We are able to walk with you through it. We make sure that you go to the police station, you're able to record your statements, and your P3 form is filled, both at the police station and at the hospital.
Yes.
For instance, again, we hold your hand. We make sure that you get the necessary medical attention.
Yeah.
I always say, once you're violated, please rush fast to the hospital. Let us preserve that evidence as soon as we can. Because again, some people don't know that if you wash away that evidence,
Yes.
again, you are now destroying that particular evidence that would help us. Since now we're talking about SGBV, I want to believe we're talking about the sexual gender-based violence
Yes.
cases.
Yes.
Again, we make sure that at the hospital, your PRC form is filled. That is the post-rape care form.
Okay.
And also the P3 is filled adequately at the hospital and also at the police station, especially for the P3, because the P3 is filled at the police station and at the hospital.
Yeah.
But the post-rape care form is filled at the hospital.
Yes.
And we have designated sexual and gender-based violence recovery centers in the government institutions. So once you're violated, please, you go to the SGBV, the Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Recovery Center in the government hospitals. There's a whole unit for that, and most services there are free because you cannot charge for SGBV cases. We always say you cannot charge for SGBV cases.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
and also another role that we play.
Yes.
We sit in the court users committee.
Okay.
In most of the court users committee, especially now that Mombasa prides in having the first gender justice courts. Nowadays, they're not called the SGBV courts. They're called the specialized courts for handling SGBV. So they're called the gender justice courts.
Yes.
And so we take pride in actually being in the court users committee in Shanzu, Mombasa, Tononoka, Kilifi. We sit basically in all the Court Users Committee. And what that does is it provides a platform where it brings all the stakeholders in the criminal justice system and very many stakeholders who actually do the same work. So it helps us to have a multi-sectoral approach when it comes to referring, prosecution, and actually determination of these matters. Because, for instance, if I'm having a situation where I've gotten complaints about maybe files are missing, maybe the prosecutors are not sitting in court in good time. Now we are able to address, I'm just giving examples. I'm not saying that is a situation. So it provides a platform where we can actually come out and have this conversation and see the best and provide best practices as to how we can be able to tackle the issues of Sgbv within our county.
Okay.
Yes.
And again, there is a story of about how do you guys walk through the victims from the scratch to the end and where now they get the justice. And because the people that are being victims of this Sgbv, we've said that they're vulnerable.
Yes.
So, for instance, the research is saying 47% of people who have gone through the Sgbv are women who are in marriage.
Yes.
Those who have wameolewa. Yes, wameolewa. Ndio wengi wao upatikana na hizi changamoto. Na ukiangalia mazingira ambayo tupo, kwa mfano katika kaunti za Pwani, Mombasa, ukiangalia idadi kubwa ya watu ambao wanaumia ni wale wanatoka katika mitaa za mabanda. Meaning that hata mapato yao pia yako chini. So how do you walk through with these victims who have got low income, who have got even the energy in matters literacy is also lower. So how do FIDA do this? I mean, because let's take a case.
Yes.
A wife has been beaten by the husband.
Yes.
They have 3 children. And then the wife is saying, I cannot move from this marriage because where will I go? I don't have resources. I don't have where to go. When I go back to my mom, they'll tell me, ndoa ni kuvumiliana. Go back and raise your children. Ensure that the children have got their father. They have a father figure in their life. And what have you. And then now this persists to an extent where now even the woman can be killed or maybe kama ameponyoka, amepigwa vibaya. And now she runs to FIDA because of maybe a friend.
Yes.
And then she comes to FIDA. Remember, she can't get back home because now the threat at home is now paramount. It's too much now. And then now you are starting this process. You take this matter to the court. You start the process now. Mnaanza kumsaidia na all. So I want to understand, how do you do when now a victim comes and now you've lodged a case? We are waiting for the judgment because haitakuwa ni leo tumelodge, kesho tayari imepatikana blah blah blah. So the security of this person who is under this threat. And again, does it mean that you guys work in the office of the women rep whose obligations are also to curb the Sgbv or the GBV thing? Yes.
Okay. So basically how FIDA works when walking the journey with this particular survivor.
Yes.
And the issue, I would like first to address the issue of the resources.
Yes.
Okay. When it comes to resources, you see, as FIDA, we do not fund our survivors, Like we do not give resources, but the resources that we give are a bit technical.
Okay.
As I began saying, I said that we offer free legal representation in court.
Yes.
That tells you you're not going to pay any penny when you walk into our offices.
Yes.
We are taking that matter. We are going to be in court every single day. I believe, David, you've met me in court severally with survivors.
Yes.
And I believe that's why you called me here.
Absolutely.
Because you know that we work with these particular survivors from the start to the end.
Yes.
And as I said also, is that once this client walks into our offices, her safety is always our paramount responsibility.
Yes.
Now, why do I say this? Because again, if this client is not safe,
yes,
we will not have a complainant in court, and it makes it very difficult also for the court to make decisions because the accused person also has rights, especially when it comes to cross-examination.
Yes.
And I am speaking from a point of experience with a matter that I've had in court, and I can also speak on matters that are before court. But how we help these particular clients is we normally have something that is called a program that is called group therapy.
Okay.
So we identify these clients
Yes.
who are facing similar violations, and we conduct bi-monthly group therapy sessions in our office. And we also have women economic empowerment sessions. So how we empower them is that we build their skills through things that they can actually do to have an income. Because at the end of the day, if you're married and you have children, remember our constitution says that responsibility is shared equally. Yeah. So that says 50-50. So you cannot say simply because you're married, you're not going to provide for your child, even if you can't even claim to say that you do not have a job. And I really encourage clients who even walk into our offices, please do something. And I'm happy to hear when someone tells me, I'm doing some casual job somewhere, I'm able to get this. Now that makes it easy, even when you're going to court, to defend her issues regarding custody and maintenance. Again, if you're married and you feel that you're being violated in that particular marriage, we're not saying stay there, as our parents would tell us. Ndoa ni kuvumiliana. And I have a case in point where a client actually decided to say, ndoa ni kuvumiliana. It ended up in femicide. It's a femicide case right now that I'm handling in Mombasa. So I would not encourage that.
Yes.
I would just tell you, please reach out to our offices, because again, we have a very good law that is called the Protection Against Domestic Violence Act of 2015 that gives very good orders of protection orders against your spouse. Okay, because that act basically provides for remedies provides for remedies when you're violated by your unintimate partner. Because again, these marriages that you're speaking about, David, most of them are not even registered. People are cohabiting and they are presumed to be married. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So this act actually provides very good orders. Number one, that is a protection order through that act. So you're married, you're in let's just call it an intimate relationship with this person. So you can actually get protection orders to protect you from this particular spouse who's making violence against you. Okay. And again, you can get restricted access to residence. What does that mean? Yes. So you're living together, but this person is making a lot of violence on you. They're beating you. They're causing a lot of physical violence. I know we didn't get to speak about the types of violences. Maybe we can just speak at the tail end.
Yes.
But probably this person is doing a lot of physical violence on you, economical violence on you, psychosocial violence on you. That already is creating an environment that is not conducive to even raise those particular kids, because some parents, some parties do not know when to stop when it comes to how long they can meet that violence on someone. It trickles down to even the children who are in that particular household. So you can actually get restricted access to residents regarding when it comes to when you're being violated by an intimate partner. I would love to call them an intimate partner.
Okay.
Yes.
I understand, because there's a lot of complications about marriage.
Yes.
Mpaka sahi nasikia even if you have 10 children,
Yes.
and the marriage is not registered,
Yes.
it is still not married.
It is not marriage. Yes.
Yeah, but again, what do you mean by that? That you restrict a partner who is violating your right? So, for example, I'm staying in my house in Bamburi. How do you want to restrict me from coming to my house, to my home, just because my wife has reported my act of violence against her?
Now, you see, in instances where, especially their kids, where they're children, you do not want to expose those children to violence. Are you sure you want to bring up those children in violence? Most of the time, the orders of restricted access to residence is when, for instance, the children are even going to school to tell their teachers, jana dadi alikuwa anapiga mami. You see, they're already experiencing that particular violence, or vice versa. I don't want to be biased. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to be biased. But now you see, they will restrict you from the residence if you're causing even more problems, even in the home. Probably even causing destruction. That people, when they start fighting, they even destroy what you have actually built. People break. I've had instances where people have burnt down people's household goods. Others have because of
Damaged
anger, damaged TV. Yes,
Yes.
I've had others take acid, burn all the clothes.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can actually get those restricted orders to the residents.
So this means
yes,
the person violating the other's rights can be restricted from coming to that house
yes,
or even within the vicinity
yes, under that act.
under that act. So my
Yes.
question would be,
Yes,
if suppose I'm the man,
yes,
so the law is going to restrict me from coming to my house?
yes, until such a time, because they're restraining you from causing more violence. Remember,
Yes.
safety first. Remember safety. There is the person who's been violated.
Okay.
Let's not talk about the man here.
Yeah.
Let's just say it can be vice versa, David.
Okay.
Because even nowadays, women own
Yes.
a good
yes.
chunk of property and assets, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's just say this other party, this other party,
Yes.
that actually the violence,
Yes.
experiencing the violence, you can actually get those orders for your own safety. Remember, at the end of the day, why we having a lot of femicide cases, David? Why we having this increased? Because you will hear stories like they came to the house, they stabbed me. They came to the house, I went
To
to
his
the
house.
house. You get. So if you can have that restriction, that would be good to save this particular life.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day nowadays, I
Okay.
think people have lost how do I put it? The measurement of anger. They do not care.
Yeah, the anger management is poor.
It's poor.
Once you are
Yes, they just
You
want
are
to.
just-
yes.
yes.
They just
Okay,
want to
okay.
finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, I had a very important question. You know, when you look at our constitutions, there's a lot of mitigation measure that has been put to curb this, and one of them, which is very fundamental, though majority does not understand, is the office of the women rep. I think one of our obligations is to ensure that women does not go through this GBV thing.
Yes.
So how does Federation for Women or Federation of Women Lawyers work with the office of women rep, let's say for example in Kilifi, in Kwale, to ensure that as much as the judiciary is trying to put more resources or also to add more knowledge on people on how to curb this, this office is also utilized to ensure that women are now free from this. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that particular question. Now, how FIDA works with the office of the women rep?
Yes.
Number one, FIDA Kenya holds a lot of legal aid activities within the diverse counties. What happens is, once we plan this particular legal aid, we identify maybe a hotspot, for instance,
Yes.
or a particular vulnerable group. Like recently, we were trying to hold a legal aid with the widows in the county. So what happens is that we reach out to the office of the women rep for her to come in and actually speak to to provide support to our women in this form.
Okay.
For her to actually discuss like the funds that are available within her docket.
Okay.
And how does this help our clients?
Yeah.
Remember the issues that we're talking about, resources. Most of them are not economically empowered. The issues of power and the power imbalance when it comes to resources. So this particular office has very good funding for women.
Okay.
And so we always reach out during our legal aid sessions for the women rep to come to our sessions for her to discuss her role and mandate in the society, so that even the women, the women that we speak to, they're able to tap into her resources to also develop themselves.
Okay.
And that is how we partner with that particular office.
Okay.
Basically, when we're doing our legal aid activities. Again, when we're doing our community sensitization forums, because FIDA, again, we take pride in doing a lot of advocacy work. So we go to the community, to the grassroots, where people do not have, the public is not even aware about their rights.
Yeah.
So we try to go and do community awareness outreach programs, trying to reach out to the grassroots women and children in the society. So we always reach out so that she can come on board and also participate in that particular dialogue. Because it's normally like a community dialogue. So we're having a conversation. So she's able to actually also speak about what her office does. Because most of you see, when the Bible says, David, that my people perish because of lack of knowledge.
Yes.
So we always take that knowledge with her to the grassroots.
Okay.
Yes.
That is perfect. And again, you've been handling a lot of cases. And the one that I remember vividly is the one of a doctor raping a patient. It is a matter in court. I don't want to discuss it further.
Yes.
But again, out of these cases that you've been handling, which one stood out for me? That makes you think, the society is rotten.
The society is naughty.
Nasema, apart from this one that we can't discuss because the matter is still in court.
It because it is in court.
Yes. Yeah. So you've been doing these cases year in, year out.
Yes.
And I hope you have a record of these matters.
Yes.
So which one stood out for you that you say, indeed, the society is rotten? Do you have such a case?
Wow. You see, David, how would I answer that question? Because SGBV cases are not pretty cases.
Yes.
Okay? They're not pretty at all.
Okay.
And most of the time, they leave you traumatized. I actually tell, I always tell my best friend every time, I'm traumatized because of the matters that I handle, because they actually give you trauma. Because at times you can find like you've actually been, a client reached out when they were alive and now they're not alive, but you're still prosecuting these matters in court. So it makes it very hard also for me as an advocate. You live with the memories every time you're in court. You're trying to do your best. You're hoping that the family will actually appreciate, because now the complainant is no longer there. So when you ask me about one that stood out for me,
give me the success one.
A success one.
Yes.
Maybe I can actually just speak about the case that you've just, I can highlight something that has stood out for me in that particular matter.
Yes.
The fact that you're able to proceed with the matter, because we also lost the client. No, she passed on.
She's late now.
Yeah, she's late. And that we are able to proceed with the matter. It's actually coming up for judgment soon. So the fact that we were able to just proceed with the matter, despite her not being able to be present, for me, it's a success story. And also recently, I had a matter of femicide, and initially, the accused person had been charged with attempted murder, but owing to the evidence that we were able to present alongside the investigating officers, the matter has now proceeded to High Court as a murder charge. Okay. So for me, I find that a success, despite the matter not being pretty as well, but it's a success story, because again, it would have just probably proceeded as attempted murder, and the penalties would not be as gross as murder charges if the accused person is found guilty. Yeah, so for me, that's a success story.
Under the spirit of fighting the SGBV,
yes,
Chief Justice Martha Koome established 11 courts.
Yes.
And the judiciary trained at the court users. Let me just call them court users, because so many people are in that corridor.
Yes.
Do you think that alone is starting on the right note, or more is needed?
Wow. I can answer that question in both ways. One, it is a success story that we were able actually to come to a place where our able Chief Justice was able to establish 11 gender justice courts. Because before they were established, every time we'd sit in any SGBV technical working group, any court users committee, any meeting where we would discuss matters SGBV. Yes. One of our recommendations was, why not have an SGBV court for these particular matters? So for me, yes, it has been, that was a very good initiative to actually establish those particular 11 courts, because it gives priority to these particular clients. Remember, you don't want to keep re-traumatizing these clients by telling the same story, giving them very far off dates, because also, you see, if it's just a normal court, a normal criminal court, probably the diary is already fast moving, and this matter has just come to court today. Imagine you being given a date for mention in, for instance, in October or November. By the time you're coming again for that particular matter, you'd be already exhausted to even tell the story. So for me, I find that establishment of these courts has been such a successful initiative by the judiciary.
Okay.
Yes.
So do we need more?
What we need more? Yes. We still need more because there's a lot of work that needs to be done when it comes to making sure that these particular courts are efficient. Yes.
Again, take me through. In normal cases or in normal courts, let's say the magistrate and other divisions
in the court.
In the court, you see a matter can take even 5 years.
Yes.
Or 3, depending with the evidence and everything there.
Yes.
So how does these courts operate?
Now, these courts, ideally, they're supposed to hear and determine these matters within, is it 6 months? Yes. So they're not supposed to take a long time. And I believe because the paramount issue is making sure it is victim-centered, it is survivor-centered. This particular court just makes sure that there are no, first of all, we are reducing the issues of backlog of those particular matters, because you see, initially, these matters were being handled by all the courts, But now there are these specialized courts just to hear the Sgbv matters. So they're given priority. That means they're able to be heard and determined expeditiously. Okay. What that means is also that from our end, us who practice the law, including the prosecutors, the police, the medical health officers, the judiciary, we are working together to make sure that these matters are heard on first priority basis. And also, we are not talking about issues of adjournments. In fact, I love some of the judicial officers who just tell you, no, there are no adjournments when it comes to Sgbv cases. For me, that makes me happy because I know this particular survivor does not have to be on my back for so long. Because again, remember, there are so many cases that are being reported to our office. And so if I have to have matters that are reported in 2020 to 2026, I'm still doing them. Also, it will create a lot of fatigue on me, yet there are new matters that are coming every day. So for me, I love the fact that these courts have been established. The only thing that we need to do is probably also create a lot of awareness to the public that there are also these courts that have been established to fast track their matters. Most people don't know that that these courts are there. They just think you just have to go to Shanzu, you can just go to Mombasa local court, you can go to Kwale. So for me, it's actually seen that maybe with the establishment of the 11, that we also we lobby that we have more of this Sgbv, the gender justice courts in every county, every town, actually. You know why? Because Mombasa, apart from Shanzu, I don't know Shanzu whether we call it Kilifi or it's in Mombasa. Shanzu is still in Mombasa.
It's in Mombasa. Yes.
It's in Mombasa.
Yes.
So we'd actually want to have a gender justice court in Kwale. Also making that geographical location for these particular litigants not far off. You don't have to come all the way from Kwale to come and hear your matter in Mombasa. So we can actually lobby for more establishment of this particular court in every county. Yes.
Allow me to bring. There's another myth. I don't know whether it's a stereotype. I was doing a story of a man who allegedly penetrated an 11-year-old boy. And then during the story, I heard a woman saying that we are going to get the justice because the presiding judge is a woman. So they really believed that women in this matter, they take it seriously. Is it the case, or it is a myth or a stereotype? That when you have a judge or a magistrate who is a woman, then you are done and dusted.
Oh my God. No, I would like probably people react differently, really.
Yes.
But I have come across very passionate male judicial officers when it comes to matters Sgbv. Remember my initial statement when I began this conversation, I said, for us to be able to curb this vice, we have to work with the men and the women in the society to make sure we are having the same spirit when it comes to speaking against violence against women and
Yes.
girls
Yes.
and children. And so for me, I would say that's more of profiling.
It is profiling.
Yeah, because stereotyping, I don't know how to put it, because you see, that is not true. Because also maybe some of you never know. People probably even have personal experiences. So you cannot speak like you
Okay.
cannot say because
Okay.
it is a lady judicial officer presiding over the matter that you are going to get justice.
Yes.
You see, justice is prescribed in the law. And again, I will take us back to 3 things that we have to take to court for us to get justice.
Yes, please do.
1, the law. Do we have the laws? Yes, we do.
Yes.
Do we have enough evidence to take this matter to court? Yes, we do. Do we have our facts? Yes, we do. Then that is all that this particular judicial officer requires, that we go with our 3 things and we are able to get justice. Be it a man, be it a woman who's seated at the bench. Yes.
I think that is fundamental. It is a take home.
Yes.
Because majority believe that when you see a presiding judge, he is a lady, you are done and dusted. But the case is not the vice versa.
Yes.
Okay, let's take this question to you. How many cases do we have right now? And what is the progress pursuant to the mechanism put?
All right.
Yes.
The cases, I will just speak for my institution.
Absolutely.
Yes. As at June, we have 22 cases reported to the organization since January.
Okay.
I would say that that most cases that have come to us are mostly defilement, attempted rape, harassment, threats as well, and mostly now what you're talking about regarding intimate partner violence, because I've also had to do a lot of application in diverse courts seeking for orders of protection, restraining orders for these particular spouses. Yes. And so far, because most of them, of course, when they came to us, some have been referred when they're already present in court. So basically, there are cases that are ongoing, and we are hoping that without delays and any further adjournments and working closely with the different stakeholders, we'll be able to actually get justice for our clients.
Okay.
Yes.
As a major stakeholder in this subject matter, do you see an increase or a decrease in these cases? When you look at it and again factor in the mechanism, the measures, the mitigation measures that has been put to curb or even just to do away with this issue.
I hear you.
Do we see the progress or we are still lagging behind?
Now, David, that's a very good question. I will say this. Kenya, again, we have very good laws when it comes to Sgbv matters.
Yes.
I can name more than 10.
Absolutely.
Yes. Very good laws.
Yes.
But the problem is implementation of those particular laws, okay? So, and also the matters are reported, yes. Okay. Now, these matters are reported, but people also lack the will and zeal to proceed with their matters. There are some people, in fact, in Mombasa, the biggest challenge I've had when it comes to these particular cases, despite the good mechanisms put in place to curb the vice, is that there's a lot of family interference. So you will come, you'll report this particular matter, but again, because it is incest, it is sodomy, it is defilement by someone probably you know. Next thing, they're willing to negotiate, actually have mediation, for lack of a better word, and kangaroo courts to actually agree and withdraw the matters. So these matters, yes, they're reported, David, but the follow-up mechanisms, but also the survivors, is also something that probably we need to push, so that it is not always like it is a FIDA problem, it is a Muhuri problem, it is a Shofko problem. It has to be these particular survivors who've been violated, that they need to have that push also to continue doing these particular matters.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, I wanted to ask about the challenges, but you've spoken about one very bad. This is not even a good challenge. This is one of the worst. I was also doing a matter in the same case that I was talking about, and it happened that the family were interested to have the matter settled out of court. And in fact, even the chief was ready
To
That-
draft an agreement.
Absolutely. And the agreement was
Mhm,
they pay mbuzi,
mhm.
or was it a mbuzi ama cow, something like that.
Just one.
Yes. Then they have their celebration,
Mhm,
they forgive one another, and then
Mhm.
the life continues.
mhm.
But again, according to my understanding, I don't know whether I'm
Yes.
right or not.
Yes.
This is one of the cases that AJS or ADR does not support at any cost.
Yes.
So, what are the repercussions for people who are performing? I will not even call it a ritual now. So,
Mhm.
what danger it caused in society? When now people are now settling this matter out of court, which is against the law,
Yes.
and again, continue intimidating
Mhm.
the person that his right or her right was violated. So, what are the repercussions for these people?
Now, you see, when such an issue happens, you see
Yes.
basically what these people are doing, yeah.
Yes.
And I always say at the community level, actually the chiefs and the paralegals, the CBOs are the first responders
Yeah,
when it
absolutely.
comes to these SGBV matters.
Yes.
Now, you should not aid. What I'm saying is, you
Mhm.
should not be part of the problem.
Mm.
Don't, how do I put it so that people can understand? I want to use the simplest terms.
Mhm.
You should not be joining hands
Mhm.
with the perpetrator, for
Mhm.
lack of a better word, the perpetrator
Mm.
or the suspect
Yes.
to violate the rights of this particular complainant.
Mhm.
You see, you're supposed, and once that happens, please
Okay.
report them, because that is a criminal offense. Report them, be it that chief.
So the act of accepting to negotiate this
Yes.
is a criminal offense.
Yeah, it is, because why are you negotiating about a criminal offense? You see, the only person who's given that mandate is the prosecutor under Article 157 of the Constitution.
Mhm.
That the people who initiate can withdraw these matters in court. Okay? So you as a first responder, your work is not to withdraw the matter. That is not your job. Leave it to the prosecutor to say that because of lack of sufficient evidence, because of lack of the complainant not coming to court, let them give the reasons and let the court be satisfied that they provided sufficient grounds for them to withdraw the matter. Not you as the chief. Your work as a chief actually is to push these people to go to the police station, to run to FIDA, run to Haki Africa, run to Clear Kenya, run to these NGOs where you can be supported until you get your justice.
Mhm.
Yes.
So another challenge, perhaps in your understanding,
Mhm.
I get this with a lot of the problems,
Mhm.
and in fact, Justice Momuye
Mhm.
and Chitembwe,
Mhm.
in their cases,
Mhm.
in the judgment, it was part of the judgment
Mhm.
that this is now for the other cases now, not for the SGBV.
Mhm.
So I wanted to put it in the SGBV way now.
Mhm.
This you call them
Intimate partner.
intimate partners.
Mhm.
So, for example, I slap my girlfriend,
Mhm.
and then now because
David, I should not find you. I'll call the police on you.
it is an example giving. I don't want to put you in that example. I'm putting myself.
Yes.
Yeah. So, for example, I slap my girlfriend,
Mhm.
and then by that time
Mhm.
there was a miscommunication, or there was a lot of things. You understand how anger sometimes
Yes.
operates.
Yes.
And then now she runs to the police officer, to the police station, report the matter.
Mhm.
And then now we decide, can we have a minute to understand the problem and solve it out? And remember, the matter is already in the police station.
Yes.
I've been arrested. Then now this lady come and during my now court session and say, I forgive him. It happened out of anger and I understand him. So does such cases occurs? And if they occurs, how does it affect the procedure of getting justice to these people who have been violated? Because sometimes I'm talking about this because I understand how sometimes women feel about their lover. They have that feeling. Unakuta hata anapigwa na bwana, lakini anaambiwa makofi ya bwana ni ya kuongeza mapenzi, si ya kugandamiza. You understand? So does these cases also occurs in this process of getting justice in the judicial system? And how do you FIDA now operate to ensure that there is justice no matter what or under what circumstance? You ensure that this matter must be done and the victim must get justice.
Okay.
Mhm.
David, that's a very interesting question. But yes, I have personally experienced clients who've been actually violated, and we've actually gotten to court and they want to forgive their
partners.
partners.
Okay.
Now, as an advocate, again, I will take back to let's just begin with the principles. I'm an advocate. I'm guided by also the guidelines, the ethics. Now, there's this client. As an advocate, again, I'm under instructions. That is what I want to say. I'm under instructions from this client. Now, this client comes and tells me, Terry, I would like to forgive. I will guide you on what the law says. I will give you the redress mechanisms that are in place regarding this particular matter. And remember, I do not have those powers to withdraw the matter. Actually, it is the complainant who has the powers to withdraw any matter before any court or any complaint. So even if it has gotten to the police station and now probably the police have now even proceeded to court to report you are actually before court and you've actually taken plea and you said you're not even guilty and the complainant decides to forgive you. There are such instances in court. David, I'm sure as a journalist, you've seen them. They will raise their hands and they will be asked severally and they will record that they will not bring similar charges against you again, and they are willing to withdraw this matter in court, and it will be recorded in court that they will not bring further allegations regarding the same matter in court.
So do you guys measure the degree of the assault?
Now, yes, we measure the degree of the assault. Of course, because remember, David, our three things that we have to arm ourselves when we are going to court: our facts, evidence, and the law.
Yes.
So if all that is there, remember again, the prosecutor is the only person who has the powers to withdraw this particular matter.
This matter, yes.
Yes.
I'm interested in this, that ataulizwa maswali. Naambiwe, ukisema unamsamehe, usiwahi leta kesi kama hii. So the question would be, yes. So anaweza kuleta kesi ya kukatwa na panga wakati alisamehea kesi ya kupigwa kofi.
Yes.
So what is the degree? Now absolutely, that is my area of interest now. Kwamba wewe ukileta hii kesi tena Daudi amekupiga kofi, you are not allowed to bring it here. And then now Daudi aendelea amkate na panga. So anaweza kuja sema sasa ile ilikuwa ni kofi na hii nayo ni panga. Si mniruhusu tu hii iendelee nayo. Or what does that one mean now?
Now, let me tell you something, David.
Okay.
And I am a strong human rights defender. I always say, by the way, it starts like this. Violence starts by that slap, by that insult. Next time it becomes something totally different. And from my experience and the matters that I've been able to work with clients from the onset, it actually starts with these slaps that you're saying, and people forgive each other. The next thing, it is something else. I was telling you about a very recent matter that happened. It was just, he burnt clothes. The first instance was he burnt her clothes and household goods, and the relationship had gone haywire. Next thing, he was luring my client to talk. He was luring my client to forgive. Okay. Now, the next time my client was having a conversation with this particular person, he decided to stab her 3 times.
Wow.
So what am I saying, David? I cannot measure the degree as an advocate, but I can tell you, I will not advocate for you being violated because I know the signs and symptoms of Sgbv. They start with very simple things. Slapped you, insulted you, pushed you out of the house, told you, I do not want you, and you still stayed. And now the next thing, you will say, femicide is increasing in the county. It starts like that.
No, Terry, we have a lot to discuss. I don't know how we are going to manage our time because our time is up.
Yes.
But we have a lot to discuss. And one of the issues that I would wish not to leave the studio before we discuss, these forms.
Yes.
I was interested with the economic one.
Yes.
So you said we have physical violence.
Yes.
We have economical violence.
Yes.
We have psychological violence. And which one do we have?
We have, there's There's the physical violence.
Yes.
There's the sexual violence.
Yes.
There's the economic violence.
Yes.
There's the psychosocial violence.
Yes.
There's the practice of harmful cultural practices.
Yes.
There's the TFGBV, the technology facilitated violence.
So what is this now?
The technology facilitated one is the one that people go on social media using media platforms to actually violate people's rights. Like they decide to, David, right now, your girlfriend decides they're not happy with you. You've actually been insulting her, for instance. You've actually been not taking care of her. Then probably she has good pictures of you, quote unquote, good pictures of you. And she decides to put them there on social media and use that platform to really say, this David should not actually be a very good journalist in Mombasa County, using the social media platforms to actually violate someone's right.
Oh.
Yes.
One of a documentary done by, there was a documentary which was done by a very senior journalist in Nairobi, under this the murder tapes by Brian Obuya, about a man who commits suicide because of absolutely that.
Yes.
That a lady recorded him and was even
because the stigma is not, most of the people cannot live even with the stigma and the backlash that comes with that. Because David, assuming someone put out your face there, and we know this is David, what do you think the society will think of you?
Wow.
Tomorrow, where will you be passing, David?
Kwisha mimi.
Yes. It is as simple as that. You
so
do not
they
want...
can record and they are not allowed to use it anywhere. I think we have to really advocate for this. Because
they can even write. They can even write things about you. Or they don't even have to put your face. They can just write on social media. Yes.
I need when I will get you back, we are going to discuss this form.
TFGBV.
But, yes, absolutely. But before you leave, take me through the economic one. So how can
the
I
economic
violate?
one?
Yes.
You see what happens in the economic one.
Yes.
Probably let's just give the case in point of having an intimate partner. Like you have a partner, because let me call it this way: you're living with this person. You're presumed to be husband and wife, and this person decides you're not going to work. They're violating you. Like you cannot go to work. You are a stay-at-home mom. I'm telling you, David, don't go and start recording Terry and her colleagues with your. And I'm telling you, you're staying at home. That's violating your rights to be financially
this is also
stable.
Violence?
Yes, it is. That is violence.
But what if he's providing or she's providing?
But you see, at the end of the day, how does violence start? Rooted in very small things. Tomorrow I will come and tell you, give me money at Chumvi.
We are going back to the vulnerability now.
Yes. Okay. Again, I'll be vulnerable. I'll come and tell you, David, nataka pesa ya chumvi. Uniambia hata shilingi 10 huwezi pata. Then next thing, coffee. Next thing, enda huko. Next thing, nimekutukana. It becomes emotional. Okay. Next thing, it becomes physical. And next thing, we're at the police station.
So how do we record this in a police station? But then
it starts with very small things. It starts with you asking for probably something that you need provided for. And this person, at some point, you feel stretched and you will flare, probably insult this particular person. You insult me and me si mchacho wa maneno na kurushia. Kidogo David na anakasirika anamua utakula kofi. Kidogo mimi nimeenda tononoka, nimeenda kusema nimepigwa kofi kwa sababu nilikuwa nimeomba pesa ya chumvi. Akanitukana, nikasikia pia mimi sitakubali kutukanwa, nikamtusi. Kidogo akanipiga. Sasa tumefika. It started with salt, by the way.
Okay. I think, we have
being
a lot
vulnerable.
to discuss. Yes. So anything that makes one vulnerable is a form of a GVV.
It is actually, it can actually, it's a very good ingredient. Yes, that leads to violence.
I can call it a catalyst.
Yeah, a catalyst. Good name.
I think, Caro, we have to stop there. But now, as you're parting short, give me what FIDA has achieved in Coast Region, pursuant to the subject matter. Yes. Now,
one of the things is that in 2022, because of the work that we do in when it comes to community awareness to SGBV, providing legal aid support, giving the psychosocial support, taking the matters to court and prosecuting them, I was awarded as the pro bono lawyer in Mombasa when handling community work.
Pro bono lawyer of the year.
Yes, in
Congratulations.
2022.
Yes.
Subsequently, in 2023, the Chief Justice appointed FIDA Kenya. I don't want to, but appointed me to sit in the National Standing Committee for Court Users Committee.
Yes.
Basically, where we advise court users regarding issues that are raised by different stakeholders in the courts.
Yes.
So we actually review and actually take in their recommendations and present the same to NCAJ. NCAJ subsequently presents to the Chief Justice.
Okay.
Because of that, it was a 3-year appointment, but it was renewed last year. So we are going to be sitting in that particular committee. Again, we've been recognized, awarded several certifications when it comes to handling matters Sgbv. We've drafted the Sgbv Act in Kwale and Kilifi as well. The Mombasa one is still a draft. We are seeing to it that it comes to it is actually enacted into law. And again, I think the fact that every partner in the coast region will always call and say, this matter belongs to FIDA. I think that's an achievement. Yes. No, it's true because they believe in the work that we do. So when a partner, actually, when I get all these calls.
But not in terrorizing men.
Not terrorizing men. Please, men, please come and you will meet us and we will tell you the good work that we do to also counsel our good women to make sure they are good.
In fact, in the achievement, I wanted to hear from one man that has been helped by you. But you refused to give me one.
Wow. Now, if you wanted that achievement, David, please next time when I come to the show, please let me come with the statistics. There are men who come. In fact, the other day, now let me give, as a parting shot, let me give you this. There's a day I had a car failure. And because of the timelines that I had to get to work, I stopped a random tuk-tuk on the road and I told them, please take me to Nyali. And at this point, I'm saying the office is in Nyali. Take me to Nyali. So when we go to Nyali, at times also I don't want to say where I'm going. So I'm like, take me to Nyali. When you get to Links Plaza, I will show you where I'm going. So when we got there, at the gate, he was like, oh, we're at FIDA Kenya. The first time I came to FIDA Kenya, I was so scared. I thought these people were going to take away all my money. But I always tell people out there to come back. When they're called, they should come. It is a very good place where they make you understand that you need to take care of your children. That was, for me, that was an achievement. And I hopped out of the tuk-tuk and I left saying, at least one person will go and tell the rest that we do actually a good job in ensuring that the best interests of these children are protected.
That is under Article 53 of the Constitution. My name is David Otieno, and Terry has done us wonders. I've understood a lot on matters Sgbv and the functions that FIDA do to ensure that society is not rotten as before. I think the achievement are so many that we can't discuss them today in this episode because of time, but I will ensure I have her back. She's one of the most decorated advocate of the High Court, and she's the senior legal officer, Federation of Women Lawyers. My name is David, and this is Legal Mind.